Well, it's great to be here. This is one of the days that we look forward to, each and every year. We're, so proud that so many people, support Nick's kids. We'll have Coach Oats here, Coach DeBoer, Coach Sewell, Mark Ingram's coming in for this. And then we have, a core group of people who've supported this for years and years and years. And we've been able to make great contributions to the community, whether it's the 21 houses that we build, the school with the juvenile detention center, playgrounds throughout the communities, and also the $100 million, Children's Learning Center that we're doing right now, which is going to be a STEM hub for teachers all over the state, which will provide education for them to take back to the students and occupational opportunity exposure for, a lot of young people to decide what their career might be. So, we're always pleased and excited to be able to give back to the community. There were so many people who, supported us for so many years that, we're just always excited to be able to give back to the community any way we can.
Questions? The Emmy Awards are tonight. Just what was your reaction to being nominated for the Sports Emmy in your first year?
Must have been not a good year for people for the Emmys, but it was a new experience. A lot of people, helped contribute to learning how to do it. I certainly appreciate them and thank them for that. And we've got a really good team of people who had lots of experience that I think helped me, fit into the program, and hopefully we created some value of some sort. So it's always an honor to be nominated for anything, but there's always so many people that contribute to it.
You mentioned Mark Ingram's going to be here. Do you have a favorite Mark Ingram story?
I have several. But, the guy won the Heisman Trophy. So he plays me in golf, and he won shots. I mean, how could that be? I mean, he's supposed to be an outstanding, phenomenal athlete who was the best football player in the country. He's not getting any shots from me.
You mentioned your relationship with Coach Oats. With your end of your tenure as the head coach at Alabama, you were going to more basketball games. He's obviously had so much success. What's your relationship with him, and how has it continued to grow over the years?
Yeah, well, we want to support all University of Alabama, athletic teams. We try to help them recruit every way that we can. We've helped Nate through the years try to recruit some players. I think he's done a phenomenal job. I think, you have a mutual respect, coach to coach, in terms of trying to share experiences and how you could help someone be more successful, especially if they have issues and problems. I always go talk to the team every year. I appreciate those kind of opportunities. We've always been about helping young people be more successful in life, and, that's certainly something that we'll continue to do for all student athletes at Alabama.
Obviously, Simpson is a name that's been on the radar of Alabama football fans. I'm wondering what your impression of him was during his recruitment and what he's brought to the Alabama.
Who was that?
Ty Simpson. What your impression of him was during the recruiting process.
Yeah, well, Ty was an outstanding high school player, no doubt. He's a fine young man. I think his example is a true example of development. He matured and developed for, 2 years, and now he's going to get the opportunity, and I think those experiences are probably going to help him be successful, and, we're rooting for him, that's for sure, and I have every confidence that he'll do a great job.
Couple more?
Coach, you played golf with Charles last week. He said it was the first time you guys have played. How was it playing with him? And he was pretty outspoken about fixing college sports. If you were to get involved, did he give you any advice out there?
I got lots of advice. I love Charles. He's, he does a great job. Not only is, he sets a really good example in the community because he's given a lot back to the community as well. I think he's supported college athletics. I think he does a great job from a professional standpoint. in his commentating, career. I always am interested in hearing what he has to say in terms of how he analyzes situations, and he's got a great personality, so he's fun to play with, and it was a really good experience.
Coach, there is conversations about expanding the playoff format. Do you agree with that?
We've talked about this before. Back in the years, I was never for expanding the playoff because I thought bowl games were really important to, the history and tradition of college football. But now that we have expanded the playoff, now the bowl games have taken a less significant role. So I think expanding the playoff and having as many teams involved as we can without playing too many games for the players, I think that's a little bit of a concern. Is probably a good thing.
Coach, how do you respond to maybe the public perception that you're staying involved with college football because you might be anti-NIL?
I'm not anti-NIL. I'm all for the players, making money. I don't think we have a sustainable system right now. I think a lot of people would agree with that. In terms of the future of college athletics, period, not just football, but how do we sustain 20 other non-revenue sports that create lots of opportunities for people in the future. And I know there's been a lot of stuff out there about some commission or whatever. I don't think we need a commission. I've said that before. I think we know what the issues are. I think we just have to have people who are willing to move those and solve those and create some solutions for some of those issues. I'm all for being a consultant to anybody who, would think that my experience would be beneficial to helping create some of those solutions. I know, President Trump is very interested in athletics. He's very interested in college athletics. He's very interested in, maintaining the idea that, people go to college to create value for the future in terms of how they develop as people, students, graduation rate, as well as, having a balanced, competitive playing field. So if I can be a consultant to anyone who might be able to help the future of college athletics, I would be more than happy to do that.